In this chapter, chapter 20, I'll discuss the information assurance monitoring tools and methods. And this chapter focuses on the methods and tools employed to monitor an organization's information assurance risk posture. Monitoring covers surveillance not only over the network and on machines, but also over personal or the human behaviors. So, first monitoring tools and methods is the IDS or the intrusion detection system. And that an intrusion detection system is an information assurance management system that detects inappropriate, incorrect, or anomalous activities. But remember that you cannot be sure as behavior is anomalous unless you have a reliable baseline. And an intrusion detection system, or the IDS, detects malicious activities not ordinarily detected by conventional firewalls. And that detectable malicious activities includes SYN flooding for network-based attacks and privilege escalation for the host-based attacks. And that in intrusion detection system, there are two broad classes of IDS, which is the network intrusion detection system and the host intrusion detection system. So, network intrusion detection system operates at the ISO network layer or in the layer 2, in which that is the data link layer, and protects a wide range of targeted platforms. And it detects intrusion by monitoring network traffic and monitoring multiple hosts via a network switch with port mirroring capabilities through the connection to a hub or a network tap. In addition to that, NIDS may detect the network vulnerabilities and provide recommendations to protect the network. And for example, when malicious activities are identified, the response generated from an IDS system may be a notification to the network's engineers monitor screen, generation of email alerts or SMS alerts to the network administrator. So this is how network intrusion prevention system works. Next is the host intrusion detection system. And that host intrusion detection system is one of the first lines of defense for electronic information system against attackers. So this detects unauthorized access attempts on computers and generates warning alerts via pager, email, or SMS, or it takes corrective actions. And an HIDS looks for events in the system logs for evidence of malicious code activities in real time. And that other features of an HIDS includes checking the critical system file changes and accesses for attempts to tamper with information or evidence of modifying users' privilege. So the difference of the HIDS and the NIDS is that a host intrusion detection system operates on a host to detect malicious activity upon that host, while a network intrusion detection system operates on a network data flows. So another monitoring tools and methods is the log management tools, and that logs are the records maintained by systems depending on the budget, resources, and level of interest, and that almost any action can be recorded. The log contains information ranging from when an individual logged in and which resources were used to failed attempts to access resources. The more details kept, the more resources used. And that log only the activities that represent potential threats and store only those that one might reasonably address. And that log management tools provide a access control to log information and enable system administrators to trace attacks or suspicious activities. Gaining valuable information from audit logs in an organization is difficult. One of the problems encountered when trying to obtain information from log files is the volume of data to be analyzed, frequently in the range of multiple terabytes. And that log management tools have filters that reflect sets of rules. Under log management tools, we have a security information and event management. So security information and event management, also known as security information management or the SIM, it is a software designed to import information from security system logs and correlate events among systems. So system information and event management analyzes logs collected from log management tools and into the intrusion detection system. Normalization converts the log data into standard fields and values common to the security information and event management. So without normalization, matching relevant information is extremely difficult. For example, a field titled log on time may mean the same thing as successful full log on time, but if the security information and event management isn't programmed to track them the same, it may process them as different event logs. So logs are collected over secure channels and normalized. And that security information and event management includes a report generator to produce summaries of activities over a period of time or ad hoc reports based on certain events. And that organization should consider training information assurance personnel in statistics, data science, and data visualization to get the most out of security information and event management. So another monitoring tools and methods is the honeypot or the honeynet. So honeypot is a computer system set up with intentional or known vulnerabilities. The main purpose is to study hackers' behavior, motivation, strategy, and tools used. The honeypot has no production value. Any attempt or connection to honeypot is potentially suspicious or malicious. So there are two types of honeypot. We have a low interaction and the high interaction. So in low interaction, this simulates only limited services of any operating system or application. It is useful to gather information at a higher level, such as to learn about behavior of worm, botnet, or spammer. While on the high interaction, simulates the behavior of an entire operating system. It can be used to study hacker behavior and to identify new methods of attack. So when used, a honeypot gives an organization another layer of detection, but extra precautions are still needed so that the honeypot will not be used as a platform to launch attacks on other organizations. So into this honeypots is especially to study hackers' behavior, strategy, and its motivations. Next is the malware detection. So malware, or the malicious software, often referred to as malware, is a software designed to break into or damage a computer system without the owner's consent. Hostile or intrusive code is malware. Malware includes all software program, including macros and scripts intentionally coded to cause an unwanted event or problem on the target system. And that removing malware from a computer can be difficult, even for experts. As a precautionary measure, it is essential to detect malware and simultaneously prevent the system from becoming infected. And that there are 3 methods for detecting malware. First is the signature detection. So one of the most widely used detection method is the signature detection, because it detects the patterns or signatures in a particular program that may be malware. So when malware is suspected, it is verified against the database of known bad code fragments. So to be effective, this database must be updated constantly with current threats. Next is another malware detection is the change detection. So in this, a file that changes unexpectedly. Next is the vulnerability scanners. So a vulnerability scanner is a software that detects vulnerabilities by analyzing networks or host systems. The result from scanning networks or host systems are presented as reports, and based on these reports, the personnel in charge may respond to mitigate or resolve the vulnerabilities discovered. So several types of scanners address different types of vulnerabilities. So they are host-based scanners, network-based scanners, database vulnerability scanners, and distributed network scanners. So we have here the types of vulnerability assessment scans. First is the network-based scanner. So this is a scanner which scrutinizes the network looking for vulnerabilities. So network scanners can provide a map of what devices are alive on the network by using simple probes such as the echo request command, performing port mapping and identifying which network services are running on each host on the network. So for example, if a machine is not a web server, it would be unusual for it to have port 80 open. And that advanced network scanners also includes database containing information on known vulnerabilities. Next is the host-based scanner. So this finds vulnerabilities in workstations, servers, or other network hosts and provide visibility to configuration settings and patch history. So this retrieves detailed information from operating system and other hosts, services, and configurations. A host-based scanner seeks potentially high-risk activities, including users' passwords, and this type of scanner is ideal for verifying the integrity of file systems or signs of unauthorized modifications. Next is the wireless scan. So this identifies rogue access points and validates that a company's network is securely configured. Next is the application scans. So this detects known software vulnerabilities and misconfigurations in network or web apps. And additionally, for the vulnerability assessment scans is the database scans, in which this identifies the weak points in a organization's database. So this performs information security analysis of database systems, and that it examines authorization, authentication, and integrity. So this identifies potential vulnerabilities in areas such as password strength, information security configurations, cross-site scripting, and injection vulnerabilities. Another scanner is the distributed network scanner, in which this performs information security analysis for distributed networks in large organizations spanning geographic locations. So this consists of remote scanning agents, in which are updated using a plug-in update mechanism and controlled by a centralized management console. So moving on to the penetration test. So a penetration test, or the cold pen test for short, involves conducting reconnaissance scans against an organization's perimeter defense, such as routers, switches, firewalls, servers, and workstations to allow the organization to determine the overall network topology. So the information gathered can identify the attack vector in an attempt to penetrate targeted systems to see whether they can be compromised using known vulnerability scans and exploits. So the overall plan is to map the entire network and perform an assessment to make sure any vulnerable devices are identified and patched frequently. So penetration test. First is the external penetration test. So an external penetration test concentrates on external threats, mainly hackers attempting to break into an organization's network. So there are 2 methods for an external penetration test. First is the black box test and the white box. So a black box test assumes that a hacker has no prior knowledge of the target organization, network, or system. So the objective of this testing is to discover how information can leak from an organization. While on the white box test assumes that a hacker has complete knowledge of the organization's network. So this process of white box testing is to determine the potential for exploitation and not discovery. Another type of penetration testing is the internal penetration test. So internal penetration test identifies vulnerable resources within an organization's network and assists the system administrator in addressing these vulnerabilities. So internal information assurance controls not only protect an organization from internal threats, but also help provide an additional layer of protection from external attackers who attempt to penetrate the perimeter defense. Another is the wireless penetration test. So, wireless penetration test is important because it helps organization understand the overall information assurance infrastructure through the eyes of an attacker. So, our wireless penetration test evaluates how vulnerable a network is to wireless attackers. So, basic wireless penetration test task may be limited to the ability to connect to the access point and get free bandwidth to the internet. And an advanced wireless penetration test involves packet analysis to find valuable data, collecting and cracking passwords, attempting to gain root or administrator privileges on vulnerable hosts in a range, connecting to external hosts, and finally hiding their task. And the security of wireless network can be improved by adapting the following. So first is a network segregation. So from here, this provides proper network segregation between wireless and LAN with a firewall and appropriate routing. So next is to change the default settings. Changing the access point name and administrator password should be done to ensure that the wireless network is harder to penetrate. Next is the IEEE 802.1x. So this is an IEEE standard that, when implemented, provides a certificate-based authentication mechanism. So the standard can also be implemented in a wireless network to ensure stronger security in terms of encryption. And lastly, the IEEE 802.11i, that it provides a stronger encryption known as the Wi-Fi Protected Access, or WPA2, that by doing so with a strong passphrase, the wireless network is harder to penetrate. So moving on to the physical. That physical security is essential to keeping systems and data secure. That as part of information assurance, it is important to check an organization's physical security posture for vulnerabilities. So the following are some of the common detective physical controls. First is the closed circuit television and monitors, or the what we call CCTV, in which it is used to monitor computing areas where security personnel may be absent and is useful for detecting suspicious individuals. So next, detective physical controls is the motion detectors. So motion detectors is unmanned computing facilities, and that they provide an alert in the event of intrusions. So this equipment should be monitored by guards. And sensors and alarms. Sensors and alarms are used to inspect the environment to verify air, water, and temperature parameters stay within certain operating ranges. That if out of range, an alarm is triggered to call attention to operations and maintenance personnel to correct the situation. And lastly, the smoke and fire detectors. The signs of fire can be detected by smoke and fire detectors, placed strategically, and testing should be conducted on a regular basis to ensure the detectors are in good working order. So personnel monitoring tools. That with an increase in the number of employees having access to the internet and email, there is a need for personnel monitoring to safeguard organizational records and stakeholders' interest. So personnel monitoring is required to maintain information assurance and privacy of organizational records. It protects against internal and external threats to the information assurance or records integrity, and protect against unauthorized access or use of records of information. That organizations need to understand the local and international laws pertaining to privacy before implementing monitoring. And network surveillance. So another network surveillance objective is to block spam and viruses that affect personal productivity. One method of implementing network surveillance is the specialized software because it allows authorized individuals to monitor by accessing the workers' computer systems, remotely view a person's monitor display, and record the keystrokes made on the computer. That network monitoring is a simple tool to detect exfiltration of corporate assets. So under personal monitoring tools is the email monitoring. So email in today's workplace is the norm. So in most cases, the information sent via email across the corporate network is within the boundaries of private communication network. So an organization is liable for all communications sent from their network. So these emails can be retrieved and printed out, and they serve as supporting documents for legal actions. So email monitoring is useful in detecting such activities and allows an organization to control and take necessary action against the culprits. And lastly is the employee privacy and rights. So employee privacy and rights are the two issues to be considered when deploying a monitoring mechanism. Necessary precautions and steps must be taken to ensure employee privacy and rights are not violated, and that ensuring monitoring activities are in accordance with applicable laws. So newly recruited employees are usually required to sign a clause allowing management to monitor whatever information they are managing, including personal information. So the concept of continuous monitoring and authorization is that as time goes on, the value of an assessment diminishes. This is because of changes in the threat environment, but also because of changes in the information technology environment. So the goal of risk management is to ensure that stakeholders have an informed view of risk to their organization or mission in near real time. that organizations can spend resources continually performing assessment after assessment in the hopes of providing near real-time risk visibility. The answer lies in leveraging change management and information assurance monitoring tools and methods. Organization must determine the criticality of controls and the resulting frequency of assessment, and that some controls such as policies may need to be assessed only annually or even less. That other controls such as network patching and vulnerability assessment may need to be accessed daily, weekly, or monthly. So this ends the chapter 20, in which focuses on information assurance monitoring tools and methods. Thanks for listening.